Confirmed. LeBron James is no longer a Laker. 8 years, 1 championship, and a legacy gone in one social media post. The 76ers land the biggest name in free agency. A 2-year, $8 million bargain that could reshape the East. Jeannie Buss breaks her silence. The front office now faces its biggest rebuild in a decade. This could be the start of a completely new Lakers era. Welcome back to the channel, your home for the latest Lakers news, trade rumors, and breaking roster updates. Before we get into it, tell us in the comments, are you relieved or heartbroken that this era is officially over? Let's get into it. Mini headline: Lakers officially move on from the LeBron James era. Context: for 8 seasons, the Lakers built almost every roster decision around one man. Trades, draft picks, cap sheets, all of it been around keeping LeBron James competitive deep into his 40s. That era is now finished. Source and mechanics: James informed the organization he would not return for a 24th season with the purple and gold. After weeks of speculation involving Golden State, Miami, Minnesota, and Cleveland, he ultimately signed a 2-year, $8 million deal with a player option, joining the Philadelphia 76ers. Why it matters: that contract number is almost shocking on its own. A 4-time MVP, the league's all-time leading scorer, taking a deal that's small tells you this was never about money. It was about finding the right final chapter. The farewell: his exit wasn't bitter. In his announcement, he thanked Los Angeles, thanked Miami, and called Northeast Ohio home, before adding one line that stopped the NBA world cold. This is his last decision. Team Governor Jeannie Buss responded with a statement thanking him for the 2020 title run and calling him a permanently cherished part of the Lakers family. Obstacle: the obstacle here isn't legal or financial. It's cultural. The Lakers now have to define an identity without their franchise anchor for the first time in nearly a decade. Debate: some fans will say this move was overdue, that the front office needed cap flexibility and a clean timeline around its younger core. Others will argue no amount of flexibility replaces what James brought: attention, credibility, and a direct line to championship contention. Unresolved consequence: the real question now is whether the front office actually has a plan for what comes next, or whether this offseason becomes a scramble to fill a void that took 8 years to build. That's not the only major decision facing the front office. Mini headline: the Sixers just landed the biggest bargain in free agency history. Context: multiple contenders spent the summer clearing max cap space, lining up meetings, and positioning themselves as LeBron's next home. Philadelphia wasn't always considered the frontrunner. Source and mechanics reports indicate Joel Embiid was one of the primary recruiters pushing for the signing. With James willing to take a fraction of his market value, the Sixers didn't need to gut their roster to make the fit work. Why could work? Pairing a still productive playmaker with Embiid scoring gives Philadelphia a 2-star combination that instantly changes their ceiling in the East, without the roster teardown a max salary star would have required. Obstacle: James is entering his age 42 season. Durability, not talent, becomes the biggest variable. A deep playoff run depends on how many games he can actually play. Risk versus reward: the financial risk is almost non-existent at $8 million. The real risk is health and fit, but if it clicks, Philadelphia becomes a genuine contender out of nowhere. Unresolved consequence: whether this ends in a 5th championship or a quiet final season now depends entirely on what's left in the tank. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, the roster questions are only getting started. The mini headline: front office faces its most important rebuild in years. Context: with no franchise cornerstone locked into the final years of his prime, the Lakers have to decide whether to pivot fully toward their younger pieces or chase a fast replacement. Analysis: cap space that was previously untouchable is now open. That flexibility could be used to extend existing core players, pursue a trade for a younger star, or simply let the current roster develop without external pressure. Obstacle: free agency largely moves in the summer, meaning the Lakers may be forced to wait until the trade deadline or next offseason to make a major swing. Debate: should the front office prioritize a splashy short-term addition to stay competitive now, or commit to a longer rebuild around younger talent? Unresolved consequence: however this plays out, the Lakers are entering unfamiliar territory. A season without LeBron James on the roster for the first time since 2018. That's it for today's Lakers update. Do you think the front office made the right call letting this era end, or should they have found a way to keep him? Choose a side in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more breaking Lakers news, trade rumors, and analysis. See you in the next video.